Hey guys, it's me, Jan Strandberg. I'm the CEO of Acquire.Fi. Today we have quite a lot of different updates that I'm going to be going through. We're going to be looking at some of the pre-sales that we've done before, some of the pre-sales that are coming. Also give some updates about the stats, what we've been up to, and then go a little bit forward and see what's happening on the secondaries market. But yeah, first of all, thank you everyone for joining the Acquire.Fi T5 chat. That's a tier 5 chat. We are basically giving out their different alphas. We're giving out different, let's say, pre-sales. And I'm happy to say that we did Trailblaze. Trailblaze is basically a launch pad. I don't usually invest in launch pads, but on this one I did because there's so many people that I know that were involved, and I know the team personally quite well. I think the KOLs that are involved are pretty substantial, and overall the roundup we got into with the tier 5 people, I think we will be happy. Anyway, very good on that side. We also had some partnerships that people didn't really notice, and that was with 365. They're quite well established. They are well known for their marketing efforts, and we will be getting a little bit of help from them on the marketing side. As you guys know, we haven't been that active yet on marketing. It's been a choice by me. I don't think we need to spend that much yet, especially when we are still building our products and when we are still on a place where I don't want to really show fully what we built. But yeah, we're getting there. So don't worry. We're getting more of these partnerships in the future. And I think overall, we're getting a lot of inquiries from VCs, a lot of inquiries from different other marketing players. And we also had our own marketing agency. Well, not own, but we were helping a marketing agency for sale. And they helped us with Portal or get into the Portal round. So yeah, a lot of exciting news in the background. On the OTC volume side, I think this year overall, there's been a substantial change, like how people are looking at this. Last year, there were more sellers, obviously. So you had a lot of safe and SAFs that came into market, and there were not a lot of bidders. Well, guess what? At the moment, we're seeing more and more buyers coming in, and I will go later through a little bit, like what are people buying? What are the niches inside of crypto that are being very hot? And yeah, let's see what we got here. But overall, we're still growing. There's a lot of deals behind happening still, and I'm pretty bullish on the following months. What's going to be happening with Acquire. So yeah, keep following that. A lot of people have been asking, like, hey, what's been happening Fuel? Can we still get in? What's been up there? So we've been having negotiations with the seller. Obviously, every secondary transaction is very different. On this one, I would say that it's the contract that we made or are making is more on the sell side, which means that it's protecting more on the sell side. But I would say the seller himself, like, he's a well-known figure, and on the counterparty risk here, I don't see it as much. But yeah, we're getting in at 450 still, which is absolutely amazing, because after this, like after we started negotiating with the seller, there's been more than $3 million worth of buy orders coming in. So I'm having still some VC, some DAO group coming to me, hey, can you get in? Can we get in? And I think the aggregated volume that we're going to be making is between $3 to $5 million. So that's a lot of volume going to Acquire and other partners that we are working with. Obviously, on the commission side, we have to split it with different parties, but it's going to be still good. So quite bullish on that. And the next Fuel seller is selling his, let's say, testnet tokens or tokens at 650 valuation. So I think we got a pretty good deal. So I'm pretty bullish on fuel overall. They've been, let's say, building quite a lot in the past months. And what I hear from the tokenomics and overall, like what's been happening there, no wonder I'm getting so many buyers coming to me like, hey, can I get in? But yeah, very interesting. Another question, obviously, we get in the community constantly is the crowdfunding part. It's getting closer. We're getting constantly some negotiations back and forth with CISIC. It's an ongoing thing at the moment. Like, I'm still hesitant to say any timeline, but expect Q2, Q3, but target is Q2. So let's be hopeful. Obviously, we're talking with regulators. You never know with the regulators how they are, and at least we're getting forward, and the conversations are pretty good. The first MVP of the crowdfunding, it's gonna be a little bit junky. So you have to basically onboard on Acquire New Ventures on the Swiss entity if you want to participate with your cryptos. And then that money will turn into fiat, and the fiat will then go to this crowdfunding platform. Eventually, we want to do all on chain. We want to do everything on crypto, but the first MVP have to go like this because of CISIC and because of regulation. Anyway, some of the marketing stuff and so forth have been pretty good, and yeah, I'm pretty bullish on Zero. But anyway, let's go forward. So one thing that's been happening on these big layer ones and layer twos, especially with Manta and with Celestia, there's been starting to come quite a lot of sell power or sellers. I made a post today, which is pretty, I think, insightful. This is pretty good for people that are VCs or hedge funds or even founders there with a lot of, let's say, capital. So I'm starting to see a lot of like discounts on these SAFTs. So what does it mean? They're basically trading minus 50, minus 60 cents from spot. So if you would buy, for example, Celestia with the SAFT at the moment, it would be minus 50%. So it would be around $9.58. Obviously, here is the thing. They have a cliff. The cliff is usually 1 year. And after that, it's 2 to 3 years linear vesting. So you would have your money in 3 years. I would say for 3 to 4 years fully. But there's a lot of, let's say, perp desks. So these are basically trading desks that are doing trading all the time. And what you could actually do here, and I was covering here on my post, is that you could actually buy these SAFTs, and then you're basically long spot. So when I buy a SAFT and I buy these tokens, I'm betting that they're gonna go up. So I'm long spot, but you could actually make a short position on these, and you could lock that profit right away. And how does it work? You basically have your SAFT where you are long because you have the tokens, and then you are going to an exchange or a DEX and taking a short per position, and you would only pay the funding rate. Obviously, the funding rate goes up and down. It can be up to 1% a day, 2% a day, or you can actually get money for getting this short position. And in trading, we call that the dollar neutral strategy, because you're basically hedging your short and long, and now you're paying only for the funding rate. This is usually what let's say more sophisticated traders are doing, but I'm starting to see this happening also in the normal markets. So people out there that want to get a good position on Celestia or even Manta, they're trading minus 50% on the secondaries market. So if you are bullish on what Manta is building or Celestia, this is a good time to buy them. Because who knows, maybe when the market goes a little bit more up and we see that halving happening. I can't even talk anymore. It's okay, we're still here. we could see a radical liquidity event. And what I mean with radical liquidity event, I mean we're getting more and more liquidity in the crypto market, and that will eventually flow into different projects. And let's say Manta and Celestia are getting eventually a lot of people building on top of them, or apps, dApps, or whatever, founders building on top or using the applications. We could see quite bullish movements. My personal take here, and don't take me on this, obviously everything what I say is not the financial advice, but on this I would say Celestia is pretty much overvalued at the moment. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm not saying that hey, this is not the case, but I just think that they should be building a little bit more for having that valuation what they have. But hey, obviously good for them, and if there's anyone out there that wants to take a position, this is a good time to buy. A lot of good deals happening. There's another deal that we've been working on, and this is Ether, I would say. I hope I pronounce it right. Mr. Fashbender, aka admin, is always talking about how my pronunciation is. But hey, here we are training on it a little bit. But yeah, why I'm super bullish on Ether is because of this computer GPUs that are basically rented out, or they're distributing the GPU power. So what does it mean? It means that you have a lot of AI applications, a lot of AI companies coming in play, and there's one big problem. They don't have enough GPUs, and they all need to buy GPUs from NVIDIA. Obviously, NVIDIA cannot produce enough GPUs, and one of the most famous GPUs that is being used is this V100. There's also another one, which is, I think, M100. But yeah, these GPUs at the moment, it's very hard to get them. And what Ether is doing, they're basically going all around the world, and they're locating these GPUs that are not being used. I think that's a very good use case overall for renting out and having an infrastructure around these GPUs is going to be very valuable in the future. But yeah, like overall, Ether is something that we're going to be probably offering for the community. We have been getting a lot of traction. We've been getting a lot of other VCs that want to go invest. So I'm pretty bullish, and I have been having constant calls with them. They do have already pretty amazing team around them, pretty amazing backers. For example, Framework, they're very famous. They basically invested in a lot of different projects. Usually when they invest, it's a pretty big thing. And then you have, of course, Arthur Hayes with Maelstrom, and also Big Brain, one of our very good allies. But yeah, I'm overall very bullish what they're building. And despite what I'm hearing, that they would have a pretty long cliff up to 1 year, and then after that, vesting linear monthly up till 3 years. I think they're not going to be they're not going to be disappearing. Like GPUs overall, they're much needed, and the more we go into this AI era, the more GPUs are going to be needed. So what they're building is quite amazing. But yeah, let's see. I think also this news about Sam Altman basically trying to raise $7 trillion. I know a lot of VCs were like, hey, like this is not gonna happen. This is ridiculous. This is like, who would do like a $7 trillion raise? But now when I've been speaking with a lot of different deep in projects that are building around AI, and especially like providing infrastructure products, including like infrastructure for data centers, infrastructure for different AI companies, infrastructure for different gaming companies. There's so much GPUs needed that the GPUs market overall is absolutely bonkers. You just can't get them. So Sam building something around this and in America, that would be very cool. Like I would say cool, but I'm still thinking that he's gonna at least get some of that money. Maybe not $7 trillion, but maybe up to, I don't know, 100 billion, 200 billion. Who knows? But like this is going for the right direction. I forgot. Like I'm usually showing this tweet, but now when we are here, but um, Ether has been getting quite good traction. They have clients already coming to them. They're working with like very big infrastructure clients, and instead of people going to Amazon or whoever else, like even Amazon cannot provide what Ether is doing. Like they have so many different distributed GPUs that they can just distribute, and all that will go eventually to the token holders. So that's pretty well, not all, but like a portion of the revenue what they're getting is going to Ether holders. So let's see how that will play out. I know that I don't usually give BTC updates, but I like to do it. I'm pretty much a BTC maxi. No, not maxi, but I've been in this space from 2011. I even have a tattoo with the BTC logo, so I think it's good to cover it. And usually, what's happening with BTC, it then flows. All that money eventually flows into other cryptocurrencies. So it's good to understand, like, hey, where we are. So as you guys know, ETFs have been coming out. I covered in the last videos that, hey, I feel very bullish. Now, when Grayscale doesn't dump anymore, there's actually quite a lot inflows coming in, and that's net inflows. And I think someone that has been covering it pretty well is Thomas. Shout out to him if he ever watches this. I like what he's posting, but he's basically posting every day like how these BTC inflows are working. And at the moment, like there's way more demand than the outflows are. Like the only one that has been dumping is basically Grayscale, and they have been stopping the dump now. Before they were dumping around $500 million, which is absolutely bonkers. But now they're only dumping, let's say, between $25 to $50 million. So imagine when that dumping goes totally down. That's quite a lot. And I think the daily amount of BTC that are made each day or mined is like 950 or 1,000. And the halving is coming. So that would mean, I will cover it probably in another video, but that would basically mean that there's so less BTC out there for this demand that eventually like this all will affect the price. And I think overall, like I covered here pretty well. I was pretty right that we were covering between or hovering between 42 and 39. And now I think if we go above 50, I think we are going to be matching somewhere between 55 to 65. I think this zone is going to be the accumulation zone. And after that, we're going to be going forward or up to the new all-time highs. Is this going to happen before the halving? I'm not sure, but so far with the flows that are coming in, I'm super bullish. Okay, I think we covered quite a lot on the BTC front, so I'm not going to cover it anymore. But sentiment overall, I'm bullish. I think there's going to be a lot of things happening. Again, no financial advices here. These are my own opinions, and just being in the space for such a long time, liquidity plays a big matter. And if the liquidity is coming in such a big ways, I think overall crypto will grow. Yeah, so let's go through a little bit what's been happening on the secondaries market. We're going to be covering a little bit like what's been happening on the buy side. So these are bids. In secondaries market, you are calling bids buys. And basically buys are bids. And sells are they're basically asks. So someone is asking or selling their allocation. So some of the projects that I'm being getting more and more traction on, one of them is Ceramic. Ceramic is basically a decentralized network for managing different data. And I think overall, like this goes to I wouldn't say it's a deep-in project, but I would say it's a similar one. And again, it's around infrastructure. And I think overall, these infrastructure products are going to be more and more outsought because usually the network effect is quite big. So their market cap will be quite bigger and their backers are pretty good. So you have Multicoin Capital, very well known. Coinbase, of course, is here. Jump, very well known. And who else? Variant, okay. And Z Prime, they're good guys. Been talking with them. And Figment also, very nice people. Obviously, these are not financial advices. I'm just covering like what kind of buy orders I've been getting. Very interesting to see what there will be, or when are they going to actually be out with their token. I don't think they have a token yet, but yeah, they've been around for a while. Another one that I got some bits on is basically this orderly network, which is a permissionless liquidity layer for Web3 trading. Someone that has been in the trading or someone that has been in this trading infrastructure space, or let's say I was one of the co-founders, Yield App. It was a DeFi aggregator, and we were doing quite a lot of different Web3 trading on chain. Something like this is much needed. Basically, a lot of problems that come when you trade on chain and when you do different stuff is the counterparty risk. And the more you can basically build permissionless infrastructure around this, the counterparty risk goes down. And counterparty risk is one of the biggest things when you trade or do anything in hedge fund. If you have a hedge fund or a VC, the counterparty risk is always there. Always when you are on an exchange, you're taking a counterparty risk. The more smart contracts there are, or let's say DeFi products there are, the less the counterparty risk is. Obviously, there's a smart contract risk, but the counterparty risk is much smaller. This is how I see it. I got some level of interest on this. I haven't gone through what they have built so far, but I think it's very interesting to see if they get more traction here. But yeah, they had pretty good investors around. Dragonfly is here. Obviously, they're a big backer. Again, Jump Crypto. And I think someone that is interested in, like, let's say infrastructure and trading product, Jump Crypto is very good at picking this. So if you go to their VC page, you can basically follow what they've been investing in. And most of these stuff are usually around infrastructure and trading. So there's something around trading and infrastructure. They're pretty bullish on that. Very good VCs. They have a good track record. Yeah, that's, I would say, I don't know if you're going to be trying to get into their round, or in the secondary side, but very interested to see what will come out of it. All right, let's go forward. Another one that's, let's say not similar, but also doing cross-chain / DeFi stuff is Prime Protocol. And this is more where I'm like, even I'm thinking of like, hey, can I get an application here? Because there's one problem when you do DeFi stuff, and that's bridging the different chains and borrowing and lending. So as you know, Aave obviously is one of the biggest borrowing and lending platforms out there, where you can put your ETH or BTC or whatever other token as collateral and get something out. I think something that is fantastic with this one is that you can actually put, let's say, on chain on ETH and get on another chain this borrowing amount. And I think this is like very good, because it's so costly at the moment to do anything on chain on ETH, and usually doing like bridging to other chains, it's a lot of work. Let's be honest, it's a lot of work. It can take 15 minutes, 25 minutes. So something like Prime is what's needed. I think there's some competitor though, but again, very good backers. I was looking at them earlier, and I think again, Framework Ventures, they were the same guys that were investing in Ether. But yeah, I think this is something even that we could offer for Acquire.Fi community, and I would be very willing to put my money on it. But let's see. There's other competitors coming out, and they've been building for a while. But yeah, I think the last one that I want to cover is basically Parcel. Parcel is a real world asset protocol slash DeFi project. Um, I think on the real world asset side, like we don't really understand yet how much of this will eventually come on chain and how much this will eventually change over time. And I think it's a good time to get in. Obviously, we ourselves, Acquire.Fi is a real world asset uh, project, and I see a lot of liquidity coming in, but it will take time. I think they had a product that's works already, and these guys had pretty good backers. Again, there's Big Brain Holdings. Okay, Solana Ventures. Obviously, they're not around anymore. Shima Capital, very good. They have a very strong VC team, and they're usually in almost every round. And Dragonfly, same thing. Dragonfly is usually someone that leads a lot. I'm not sure if they got leaded, but yeah. I think this is it. I think we had a very good session here. Again, follow us on Twitter, tier 1, tier 5. Chat is open for everyone that has 42,500 tokens or even more. We might change a little bit that because we feel a little bit it's quite cheap at the moment. Let's see the feedback, what we are getting from the community. I just wanted to thank you. Like, hey, you guys are very big support. Hope you guys like these videos. I'm again trying to do at least one video every 2 weeks, or start to just do a lot of more videos, depending on you guys. I know that we haven't been that active on the main channel, but that will soon change. But yeah, hope you enjoy these videos and see you next time. Thank you.